Hello everyone. So let us continue our discussion of Unit 1. So today we will talk about Cauchy's criteria for existence of a limit of a function. Okay. So already we have learned about limit of a function. That means epsilon delta definition of limit of a function, right? So the epsilon delta definition of limit of a function is frequently used to find the limit of a function, right? By using epsilon delta definition, question may be like that. Some functions may be given to you, and you have to ask that evaluate like that, or find the limit of the function at x equals to that point, and these are the functions. These questions may be like that. That means the concept, that is that the epsilon delta definition of limit of a function can be used to find the limit of a function. Okay, if limit exists, because already we have learned one theorem that limit of a function is unique if it exists, right? So existence is very important. It is not that every time limit of the given function is exist. Okay, if exists, then we can find. So in general, the concept of epsilon delta definition of limit of a function is used to find the limit of the function. That means already it is exist. Okay, so sometimes the question may be like that, show that limit of the function at the given point does not exist, right? Sometimes the question may be like that also, that some functions may be given to you, some point may be given to you, and your job is to show that limit does not exist. Okay, so basically this concept, that means Cauchy's criteria for existence of limit of a function, is being used to show that limit of the given function at a given point does not exist. Okay, so to show something does not exist, we will use this concept, because this is very helpful, right? Because आप कह सकते हो in positive sense that to find the limit of a function, we will use the epsilon delta definition of limit of a function, and to show that limit of the function does not exist, we will use Cauchy's criteria for limit of the function. Okay, so let us see what is this criterion. Cauchy is a mathematician, is a famous mathematician. So he gives this definition. That means this hypothesis or this theorem, right? So let us see what is this. If f is a real valued function of a real variable x defined at each point in a neighborhood of a point x equals to c, then a necessary and sufficient condition that limit fx x tends to c exists and it is finite is that for every epsilon greater than 0, however small, there exists delta greater than 0 such that fx1 minus fx2 modulus of, which is less than epsilon, for all x1 comma x2 satisfying 0 less than mod x1 minus c comma mod x2 minus c less than delta, right? So let us explain this by graphically, because we are habituated to understand this type of one variable function by graphical method. Okay, so let us see what is the meaning of this. The meaning is, first of all you have to understand what is the meaning of this. This is very important. So you see, this is called necessary and sufficient condition. Okay, necessary and sufficient condition means by using this you can also show that limit of the function exists, right? But it is little bit difficult to show that limit of the function exists and to find the limit. Okay, better to, we will always use this to show that limit of the function does not exist. Okay, so necessary and sufficient condition means if you know that limit of the function exists and it is finite, then you can easily show this. Try to understand the meaning of necessary and sufficient condition. Okay, that means for the exam purpose, to get first division, 60% mark is necessary, isn't it? If someone gets 59%, then he may not count as first division student, right? So to get first division, you have to score 60% at least. So in this case, 60% mark is necessary to get first division, isn't it? But 85% or 90% marks are sufficient to get first division, right? So you have to understand the meaning of necessary and sufficient condition. That means if limit of the function exists, that means you know that limit of the function exists definitely, then you can easily show this part, by assuming this exists. So this is called necessary part, right? And sufficient part is, if you assume this part, then if you assume this is true, then you can easily show that limit exists. Okay, this is the meaning of this necessary and sufficient. That means two parts are there. First part is limit exists, and second part is, if limit exists, then fx1 minus f of x2 mod is less than epsilon for all x1 comma x2 satisfy this condition. Okay, and if you assume this is true, that means the last part is true, then you can easily show that this. So if this is true, then this is called necessary part. That means if limit exists, you have to show this, then this is called necessary part. And if this is given to you and you have to show this, then this is called sufficient part. Okay, so try to understand the meaning between necessary and sufficient. Okay, so let us see what is the meaning of this. So I will assume this first. Okay, that means limit exists. So first of all, I have to assume let epsilon greater than 0. Right, I have to assume this. Now I use this fact that limit exists and it is finite. So let limit fx x tends to c equals to L1, or you can say L also, right? Now you see, for this I can write this implies there exists there exists delta greater than 0 such that mod fx1 minus L is less than epsilon by 2 whenever x1 minus c less than delta, and mod fx2 minus L. This is basically proof. I am going to prove it. By assuming this, I will prove this is true. Okay. So this is less than epsilon by 2 whenever mod x2 minus c less than delta. Is right. This is correct, isn't it? Because if you take any x within this region, within this x, isn't it? If you take any x which satisfies this condition, then this is definitely satisfy this, right? Because the meaning of this is fx minus c less than epsilon whenever x minus c less than delta. So I can replace this x by x1 and x2. Okay, provided this condition must satisfy. Okay. Now you write this one. Now mod fx1 minus fx2, right? So this can be written like that: fx1 minus L plus L minus fx2, right? Because already I have used this fact in our previous proofs, right? So now this implies fx1 minus fx2 is less equals to mod fx1 minus L plus L minus fx2, right? So this implies fx1 minus fx2 less equals to mod f of x1 minus L plus, this can be written as mod f of x2 minus L, right? Now this implies fx1 minus fx2 strictly less than, now this is less than equals to epsilon by 2 plus epsilon by 2, provided these conditions must true, right? So whenever mod x1 minus c comma mod x2 minus c less than delta, now this implies mod fx1 minus fx2 mod is strictly less than epsilon, right? Whenever mod x1 minus c comma x2 minus c less than delta. So I have proved the necessary part, right? So proof is not required at all for your exam purpose, but you should know how to prove this type of problems. Okay, and I have proved this to explain the geometrical meaning of this statement. Okay, so before that, pause the video to note it down. So let us discuss this in a graphical way. Okay, so let me draw a graph first. Let me draw here. Okay, in this part. Okay, so this is the graph. This is the x-axis domain, and this is the y-axis codomain, and this is the origin O. Okay, so take any arbitrary graph. Suppose this is any arbitrary curve y equals to fx. Right? So first of all, this equals to, that means this is exist. So this is exist. I have discussed many times what is the meaning of this. So first of all, you have to locate one point in your domain. Okay? So this is the point C. So this is my domain. So this will be my C. Okay? This is the C. So corresponding to this point, I have to get one image here, right? So this is my f of c, and this is nothing but my L, right? Okay. Now what happened? You see. Now according to this epsilon, the meaning of this is what? You have to get one L plus epsilon, right? And this is your, suppose, L minus epsilon, right? So according to this, you will get 1 point on the curve, and according to this, you will get 1 point. So corresponding to this, you will get one C minus delta, and corresponding to this, you will get 1 point, that is C plus delta, right? I have just figured out the graph based on this limit exists. Okay, now you see what is the meaning of this. What is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this line? The meaning of this line is f of x1 belongs to L minus epsilon by 2 comma L plus epsilon by 2, right? If I choose such f of x1 within this interval, then there must exist, whenever what? X1 must exist C minus delta comma C plus delta, right? Isn't it? This is the meaning of this line. So if this is your L plus epsilon, then this point will be your L plus epsilon by 2, right? And this will be your L minus epsilon by 2, right? So corresponding to this, you will get 1 point, and corresponding to this, you will get another point, right? You will get another point. And suppose this is your C minus delta by 2, and this is your C plus delta by 2, right? Now, if you take any f of x1 within this interval, that means this is the range, right? You have to pick any f of x1 within this interval. So suppose this is my f of x1. This is my f of x1, right? This is my f of x1. So this x1, what will be this x1? If this is my f of x1, then this point will be my x1, right? This point is my x1. Now you see this x1 must belong to C minus delta comma C plus delta, and definitely this x1 belongs to C minus delta to C plus delta. Isn't it? Within this interval, this x1 exists. Okay. Now what is the meaning of this line? The meaning of this line is f of x2 belongs to L minus epsilon by 2 comma L plus epsilon by 2 whenever x2 belongs to C minus delta comma C plus delta, right? So now if you choose any f of x2 within this interval, so suppose this is my f of x2, now corresponding to this f of x2, I will get one x2 here, right? This is my x2, and definitely this x2 lies between open interval c minus delta comma c plus delta. So here you see xt belongs to c minus delta to c plus delta. Okay, so this is the concept of Cauchy's criteria for existence of limit. That means this is the graphical concept of Cauchy's criteria for existence of limit. Okay, so I have already told you this concept basically used to show the function does not exist at a given point. Okay, if limit exists and you want to find the limit of a function, then better to use the formal definition of limit of a function, obviously epsilon delta definition of limit of a function. Okay, so if somehow the equation is like that, they show that the following limit does not exist, then better to use the concept of Cauchy's criteria. Okay, so let us see some examples. So before that, pause the video, note it down. Hello. So this is the question. Question is like that. Using Cauchy's criterion, test the existence of the following limits. Two functions are given to you. Number 1, limit x tends to 0 cos 1 by x, and number 2, limit x tends to 0 sin 1 by x. Okay. So question is, using Cauchy's criteria, you have to test the existence of the following limit. Okay. So remember this. Usually 95% of this type of questions, that means अगर आपको बोला गया है कि यूजिंग Cauchy's क्राइटेरियन आप टेस्ट करो कि फॉलोइंग जो लिमिट्स है वो एग्जिस्ट करता है कि नहीं करता है, तो इन जनरल 95% प्रॉब्लम्स जो होता है यहाँ पे लिमिट एग्जिस्ट नहीं होता है. ठीक है, मतलब यहाँ पे क्या क्वेश्चन हुआ है कि आपको Cauchy's क्राइटेरिया यूज करके चेक करना है कि ये जो फॉलोइंग लिमिट्स है वो एग्जिस्ट करता है कि नहीं करता है. राइट, मतलब योर जॉब इज टू check whether the following limit exists or not by using Cauchy's criteria. Okay, so I have already told you that Cauchy's criteria is basically used to check the existence of the following limits, and in 95% cases limit doesn't exist. Okay, so let us check. I will do this, and this is for you. You have to do this by your own. Okay, so try to understand this. Okay, so from our knowledge we know that this limit does not exist, right? But I have to show that. So ये जो definition है इसको बहुत ध्यान से देखना, बहुत मतलब ध्यान से समझने की कोशिश करो कि क्या कहा है इस definition में, कि कहा है कि अगर limit f(x) extends to c exist हुआ है तो आपको ऐसा 2 पॉइंट मिलेगा ही मिलेगा, x1 and x2, which satisfy that mod x1 minus c mod x2 minus c, both of them is strictly less than delta. राइट, आपको ऐसा 2 पॉइंट मिलेगा ही मिलेगा, और जो डिफरेंस जो होता है उन लोगों का इमेज का f of x1 minus f of x2 must be less than epsilon. राइट, क्या बोला है मैंने कि डेफिनेशन का ध्यान से समझने की कोशिश करो. पहले आपने एज्यूम कर लिया था कि लिमिट एग्जिस्ट है इस फंक्शन का एट द पॉइंट x equals to c. राइट, दैट मींस लिमिट fx extends to c exist. तो अगर ये एग्जिस्ट होता है तभी तो आपको ऐसा 2 पॉइंट मिलेगा ही मिलेगा, x1 and x2, such that f of x1 minus f of x2 less than epsilon whenever mod x1 minus c mod x2 minus c less than delta. राइट, तो यहाँ पे हम लोगों को पता है कि लिमिट एग्जिस्ट नहीं होने वाला है, क्योंकि मैंने आप लोगों को बोल ही दिया है कि इन जनरल बाय यूजिंग Cauchy's क्राइटेरिया 95% ऑफ फंक्शंस आर नॉट एग्जिस्ट. ओके, तो यहाँ पे लिमिट fx extends to c एग्जिस्ट नहीं है. तो अगर यहाँ पे एग्जिस्ट नहीं है तो क्या आपको गारंटी है क्या कि आपको वो 2 पॉइंट मिलेगा ही मिलेगा, x1 को x2 नहीं भी मिल सकता है. राइट, तो यहाँ पे हमको ऐसा 2 पॉइंट चूज करना पड़ेगा x1 and x2 in such a way that it doesn't satisfy the given value of epsilon. Okay, so we will prove this by contradiction method. Right, that first of all we assume that limit exists, then by assuming that limit exists we will use the Cauchy's criteria, the definition of Cauchy's criteria, then somewhere I will show that some absurd statement will come. Okay, so let us see how to show this. The solution number 1. Okay, सो हमको क्या चेक करना है कि लिमिट एग्जिस्ट होता है कि नहीं होता है। तो हम पहले इसको नाम देना पड़ेगा, लेट एफ एक्स क्या है मेरा, एफ एक्स कॉस 1/x प्रोवाइडेड x नॉट इक्वल्स टू 0, राइट, बिकॉज यहाँ पे x नहीं 0 नहीं होगा। अगर x 0 होगा तो फंक्शन डिफाइंड ही नहीं होगा एट द पॉइंट 0 पे, राइट। सो वी हैव टू मेंटेन दिस वेल डिफाइंड फंक्शन, वी हैव टू टेक दिस वेल डिफाइंड फंक्शन। Okay, so write if possible let PO if possible let if possible let if possible let limit fx x tends to 0 exist exist है। ये जो लिमिट है हम लोगों ने एज्यूम कर लिया, इफ पॉसिबल लेट द लिमिट एग्जिस्ट। ओके, सो इफ लिमिट एग्जिस्ट होता है तो अगर आप एप्सिलॉन का किसी भी वैल्यू ले लो ग्रेटर देन 0 तो आपको ये 2 पॉइंट मिलना ही मिलना है, राइट। सो देयरफॉर फॉर गिवन एप्सिलॉन इक्वल्स टू, मैं बाद में लूंगा, कुछ वैल्यू लेना पड़ेगा व्हिच मस्ट बी ग्रेटर देन 0, there exists delta greater than 0 such that f of x1 minus f of x2 mod must be less than epsilon, मैं वैल्यू बाद में लिखूंगा, whenever 0 less than लिख सकते, मैं भी लिख सकता हूँ, whenever x1 minus 0 mod, क्योंकि हमारा पॉइंट 0 है ना, हाँ, x2 minus 0 is less than delta, right? So this implies what is my f of x1? My f of x is this, so f of x1 will be cos 1 by x1 minus cos 1 by x2, right, mod which is less than epsilon. I will choose the value of epsilon after that whenever this is true, right? Now give it equation number 1, inequality number 1. Okay, I have to choose the value of epsilon in a right way. Afterwards I will choose this. Okay, now we have to take this x1 and x2, some values of x1 and x2 in such a way that this doesn't satisfy for the given value of epsilon. Okay, so taking x1 equals to 1 by 2 n pi and x2 equals to 1 by 2n plus 1 into pi by 2 in such a way that 0 less than 1 by 2n pi less than 1 by 2n plus 1 into pi by 2, इसको सेटिस्फाई करना पड़ेगा ना, हाँ, तो यहाँ पे मॉड होगा, राइट। आप ये लिख सकते हो whenever mod x1 mod x2 less than delta, right? So this must satisfy. Okay, taking this in such a way that this comma where n is very large. Why n is very large? Because I have already told you these deltas are very small, right? This epsilon, this delta, these quantities are very small, right? So if I take this n as very large integer, this n is very large, so 1 by very large means very small, isn't it? So very large integer, take it, better to take it integer, very large positive integer, very large positive integer. Okay, now check whether this is satisfied or not. Now give it 1. Now from 1 cos 1 by x1 will be 2n pi, cos 2n pi minus this will be cos cos 2n plus 1 into pi by 2 mod less than, now let me calculate, cos 2n pi will be 1 and it is 0, right? Because cos even multiple of pi is 1, right? Isn't it? Because if you draw the graph, then it will be cos 0, 1, right? Again it will be 1, yeah. So cos 2n pi is always 1 and cos odd multiple of pi by 2 is always 0. So it is mod less than, so it will be what? 1 less than. So you have to take the value of epsilon in such a way so that you get absurd in this place, right? That means it is what? 1 is less than epsilon. So take the value of epsilon in such a way that this quantity must be something which is less than 1. So you can take half also, right? Half, isn't it? The value of epsilon is half. So you can write here it is half. It is half, and you see this half is greater than 0. If I take the value of epsilon as half, then this half is always greater than 0. Now you see this, whenever, you have to write whenever here, right? Whenever I have no split space here. Whenever you have to write this line. Whenever this one you have to write. Whenever 0 less than 1 by 2n pi, comma 1 by 2n plus 1 into pi by 2 is less than delta. Again you have to write this. Now this statement is absurd, right? Which is absurd, isn't it? Because this statement is not true. Okay, that means why I have got this absurd statement, because initially I have taken this statement as false. I have forcefully assumed that this limit exists, right? That's why I got this absurd statement. So which is absurd. So therefore our initial assumption was wrong. So therefore limit x tends to 0, fx does not exist. The value of fx is cos 1 by x, does not exist. Okay, so the logic is, if the limit exists, then it must exist for every value of epsilon, right? But here we know that limit does not exist, right? We know the limit does not exist. That's why I have taken the particular value of epsilon. So I suggest you have to choose this value of epsilon after getting this line, right? If you get here half, then better to take this epsilon as less than half. That means 1 by 4 you can take, right? So I have chosen the value of epsilon at the last step so that I can get some absurd statement. Okay, so if you take here epsilon equals to 2, then your job, your purpose, you are not able to solve your purpose, right? So you have to choose this value of epsilon in a proper sense, so that you can get some absurd statement. Okay, so इसका लॉजिक क्या है? अगर लिमिट एग्जिस्ट होता तो आप एप्सिलॉन के किसी भी वैल्यू ले लो, इसके लिए आपको 2 पॉइंट मिलता है, f of x1 and x2, such that you can get f of x1 minus f of x2 less than epsilon. Whatever value you can take for epsilon, but the value of epsilon must be greater than 0, right? But you see यहाँ पे क्या हुआ है, लिमिट एक्सिस्ट नहीं है, हमको पता है, बट हमने क्या किया, कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन मेथड से इसको प्रूव किया है, राइट? मतलब पहले हम लोगों ने फोर्सफुली एज्यूम कर लिया कि लिमिट एग्जिस्ट है. तो अगर लिमिट एग्जिस्ट है तो हमने क्या किया, कोशिश क्राइटेरिया का जो डेफिनेशन है, जो थ्योरम है, जो रिजल्ट है, इसको हमने प्रॉपर्ली इसको यूज किया, राइट? इसको यूज किया. फिर हमने क्या किया, हमको पता है कि लिमिट एग्जिस्ट नहीं है, इसलिए हमको ऐसा दो वैल्यू लेना था, x1 और x2, जहाँ पे ये तो वैल्यू है, ये रेस्ट्रिक्शन तो सेटिस्फाई कर रहा है, लेकिन ये वाला रेस्ट्रिक्शन सेटिस्फाई नहीं कर रहा. यहाँ पे x1 x2 क्या कर रहा है, इसका सेटिस्फाई कर रहा है, लेकिन इसको सेटिस्फाई नहीं कर रहा है. तो इसको कैसा सेटिस्फाई कर रहा है, फॉर सच बिग वैल्यू ऑफ n, राइट? बिकॉज वी नो this delta is greater than 0, but it is very small quantity. So to make this quantity is very small, we can take the large value of n, so that these quantities will become very small quantity, right? So here what happened, this x1 and x2, the values of x1 and x2 satisfies their range, but for these values of x1 and x2, this doesn't satisfy. That means Cauchy's criteria doesn't satisfy. That's why this limit does not exist, right? So try to solve this one by your own way by taking proper suitable values of x1 and x2 and send it to me. Okay. So before that you have to understand this concept very carefully. You have to understand this problem very carefully, the solution part very carefully, how to apply the concept of Cauchy's criteria to show that limit of the function does not exist like that. So you have to understand it properly, then try to solve this. Okay. So thank you.